I feel like first tournament was like December of 2013 or something like that. Crazy. Quick question: are the fires still super relevant or prevalent over in Australia? Is that something that you are like
Oh, true. No, that's
involved
actually
in?
kind of died down a little bit, but so that's how our year started. So it's been disaster after disaster for us here.
Yeah,
Like,
it's actually crazy. Was it like how hard did it affect you, like specifically, like directly? You know,
yeah, yeah,
like
I know what you mean.
yeah.
Well, the area that I was living in, well, I still live in, Box Hill, was the worst air quality in the world, or like second or third worst, behind other suburbs in Victoria.
Really,
Yeah, yeah, like
the
worse than
worst.
the worst. Yeah, so like worse than anywhere in China. What there?
That's insane.
Yeah, like on my walk from my office in the city to the station, it felt like I smoked like 2 decks of cigarettes. Like I was like wheezing. Like
That's crazy,
yeah.
man.
So and I don't have asthma.
Wow.
I don't have any of that shit.
Were you wearing a mask or was it
Yeah,
just you raw dogging it?
I would rock a mask like towards the end, but
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning I would just walk out there, and they started putting out advisories not to do that. Like
Yeah.
basically like don't go outside if you don't have to. And
Jeez.
my neighborhood, so like Box Hill's in a bit of a valley, so the smoke just kind of collects here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was cooked, man. Like going outside was just a huge mistake. Like
That's
even
crazy.
in the
What like
house, we would
how?
we would like run our aircon or whatever to try to like make the air as clean as possible.
Mm-hmm. What sometimes it wasn't even enough. That's insane. It's
Mm,
actually pretty mind-boggling. So,
yeah.
what was it like to have like your grocery stores and everything like that? Were the air quality was so bad? Was it affecting like
No,
certain things, like certain produce or anything like
inside
that?
buildings it was fine, but yeah, certain produce
Mm-hmm.
was harder to come by. I think bananas and stuff were like harder to get for that period. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for the most part, it just really fucked over a lot of rural areas and a lot of farmers and stuff. So
It's crazy.
yeah, pretty
Wow.
nuts. And that's how our year started off. And you would look outside, and it would just be the sky would just be like it looked apocalyptic at points. Like the city looked like just you couldn't really see too far a lot of times.
It was just a complete smog, right? Just
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
changing the view. I can't even comprehend something like that.
So that happened, and we were like, this feels like the end of the
Wow.
world. And then this coronavirus stuff
Mm-hmm.
started up at the end of the fires, and I remember one of the guys in my office being like, "This coronavirus thing is going to be really big. Um, like this is going to really," because we were in sales. He's like, "This is really going to affect like how much we sell in the next couple of months." And this guy in
Mm-hmm.
meetings always had a fucking excuse for why he wasn't selling. Like biggest John Lord you've ever met.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Igna Eunice kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
always got something going on, like for why like the next month is gonna be rough or whatever. And so I was just like, dude, stop being a bitch. Like I didn't say it that clear, but I was like kind of in the meeting. I was like, dude, it's gonna be whatever.
yeah. No
Like
excuse.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, we're
gonna
gonna
have to
find a
do
way,
it.
like we always do.
Yeah,
And
but I mean,
he's
this
like,
is
this
like a
is gonna shut
worldwide
down
shutdown.
businesses and shit. Like this is gonna be bigger than just a month or two. And I was like, man, you just want it to be like that.
Yeah, and then
And then
fucking.
it legit was like our bosses were like, nah, nah, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. And then 2 weeks later, we're getting moved out of the office. So
Yeah, everybody's working from home. Everybody's just. It's crazy, man.
yeah,
You can't hang out with anybody anymore. You can't do anything anymore.
yeah, and it went
But,
from we were gonna work in the office in 2 teams, and like
mm-hmm.
Monday through Wednesday, one team was gonna work, and then Thursday through Monday, the next team was gonna work or whatever.
Sure.
And that plan got scrapped real quick. We didn't even end up
Yeah.
doing a day of that.
Yeah, I mean, no one was allowed to.
Yeah,
Like, dude, so many businesses, literally. So where my house is, it's on the end of a side street that's connected to the town center. It's like a big oval,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
of businesses, and there have been multiple businesses already that have gone just completely out of business
Yeah.
because of the coronavirus. They can't, like, one of our favorite restaurants that's close by could completely close down because no one could come in. They couldn't really do takeout orders at the time, and they just couldn't keep it going. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
And we were calling people trying to sell ad space in a magazine, basically on their partnerships and with companies they've worked with. And you call these people up and you like put this proposal forward, and they're like, "Sounds great, man. Sounds really good, but we don't know whether we're going to be open in 3 months when this thing comes out, or like six
Yeah.
months." You know, they're like, "We don't know if we're going to have a company to even pay people who are already, you know, like this is an unexpected expense, and we don't even have the money to pay our employees right now." So, like,
Yeah.
once you start hearing that, I ended up leaving the job because, um, basically, yeah, the work just got to the point where we were making like 9 hour, like we were on the phone like 8 9 hours a day, and it was just not fun.
No business, no
Yeah,
nothing. Just wondering
nobody.
if you're gonna get laid off tomorrow or not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, frightening times.
But
I
anyway,
don't know if you can see, I can't see your camera in Discord.
yeah, I'm on. It's
Okay.
connected to OBS, so
Okay.
which is a little bit weird. You got to watch the stream.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I am here though.
Let me see that. Yeah, you're good. You're good. So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yo, I love your snood display picture on Discord as well.
Thank you. I'll show you right now. I have Snood open, actually.
Are you guys
Just playing
grinding
a
right
couple
now?
games. Well, no, he was just playing Valorant, but now I've been playing Snood. You know, you see me anonymous on the boards.
Nice, dude. Getting up there.
Yeah.
That's sick. So you got a house with like 3 4 housemates?
Three housemates.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3. We're
It's
down to
pretty
2 now. One moved home.
Yeah, are they coming back, or is it just
Nah.
like an empty space that you gotta fill?
Yeah, it's like an empty space. We're talking to our landlords about getting a rent reduction, but we'll see.
Jeez, imagine.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
Brutal, man. Uh, I mean, man, how you been doing with Melee like before this whole Corona thing happened? How's your
I'm
how's
kind
your
of
net play scene?
I'm
down
kind of
there?
back
Better
into
yet.
it more than ever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, it's a
feeling
good
it at the
time.
moment. Well, with work and stuff being off, me and Josh play every day on NetPlay. We got an okay connection.
Nice.
Sora and
What's the miles difference? Like, or
It's-
how far are you guys?
it's like NorCal SoCal distance.
Oh, okay, so like 8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah, we play a lot. He's gotten way better again.
Yeah,
He-
he always does it.
Yeah,
Freak.
he's becoming like a world player at this point.
Can't wait for it, dude.
I'm gonna be so sick. Such a
He's
such a
he's
nice
gonna-
guy as well.
He's gonna pop up exactly like Splud did, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, this random top 30 player just showed up out of nowhere." But we all knew, like we knew.
The
you know
homies
what
know,
I mean?
yeah. And it's always like that from a region. But on the flip side, though, everyone reckons they've got that guy. You know when you go to a
Mhm.
major and everyone's like, "Hey, play my boy Flintstones 42," and you're like,
Fortnite Fred.
"Yeah," you're like, "I just don't think Fortnite Fred's gonna have the juice, man." And he's like, "Nah, dude, Fortnite Fred, he's that heat."
Yeah,
And-
he's got the juice.
And then
type
you
boy,
play him,
type
and
boy.
he's good. Like he's pretty good, but he's not like
yeah, he's not.
he's
He's
not-
not like hidden boss. He's not god tiered status.
yeah, he's not the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know how
Well,
to
I
tell
mean-
this guy.
You can tell him that he sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all the flaws in his gameplay, right? It's like I don't know. In situations like that, it's just like, yeah, he's good in this way, and you guys are probably all really bad at it, but
Mm.
this is why he sucks in other ways, and you break it down to them.
Yeah, and you can.
My favorite thing was.
Oh no, you go.
Go ahead. Okay, my favorite thing, like as an example of that, was, you know, the Ice Climbers player Diplomatic Toucan.
Yes,
from
I do know
SoCal?
Diplomatic Toucan.
At Genesis, when I met up with you guys again, I beat him in a money match, best of 5. I 9-stocked him, right? In front of like 6 of his boys that all were like, dude, we have no idea how to beat him as Fox. We don't know what the fuck. We don't know what to do. He just wobbles the shit out of us. And I just 9-stocked him in front of the boys. It's like, oh shit. And then one of them messaged me like 2 weeks later, and they're like, yo, I just beat him at a local because I was watching how you played him, and like, shit like that feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
That feels good to do. But it's like, yeah, I mean, they're good in certain ways. Again, you can't discredit them for that.
But you can also see where, like, you're like, oh, this guy, he's gonna be so sick, and you can see where he's put the time in to do the rote learning, to like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, it's just like this guy's another like pretty good Leffen clone. Like you can see like you put him in a situation where they like go for the optimal thing and miss it, or like with Josh, he just rarely fucking misses a tech chase. His reactions are just like
Mm,
they're there, you know, and it's not.
yeah.
You can see the intangibles when you play someone like that, and then when you play Fortnite Fred or whatever, and the intangibles aren't there, but he's just grinded way harder than his friends. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this guy does become reasonably good, but at the moment he's not really playing melee. He's just outplaying.
He
You
needs more
guys are just,
time.
yeah, and the people that he's playing against or beating are probably just way less practiced.
Yeah. You got to give him the stepping stone. I think if you're better than him in that certain situation, right? If you're better than that Leffen clone, uh, and you're like, man, he does have the potential to do great things. Do you pull the angel or the devil on the shoulder? Do you just kind of like let him figure it out on his own, or do you go out of your way to be like, hey man, here's where you could improve, here's where you went wrong, assuming you've played him
It's
right.
so hard when you don't know the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. You
so
can only tell based off of melee interactions.
yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm trying to help Josh get better, and we'll probably be taking America trips together as soon as this is all over. And
Cannot wait.
one of the big roles for me at the moment is just trying to facilitate his improvement and trying to get him to where he needs to be to be a star. And I'm trying to do that, through this show. I'm trying to get my stream bigger so that we can push for him to be in Summit. I'm trying to do a lot of things to help the homie out.
Yeah.
And
No, I crazy.
one
You're
of
verified, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
on the stream.
So
All right, continue.
one of the things that I've been thinking about really recently, and has been an interesting thought point for me, is I need to give him the things he needs, not the things I need. So like for me, I'm a big choker in a lot of spots. So I need reassurance like before matches, like dude, you got this. This guy sucks. Like rah rah. Like getting in the zone is something I need help with, and people can kind of help me with that. But him, when he
Yeah.
sits down in front of a TV and starts looking at that TV, everything else just goes away, and that's why he loves melee. He's like, it's just game time. But the
Yeah.
places where he needs reassurance is after like, did I do good, man? Like, yeah, man, you did so good. Like he needs different and in improvement as well, and in focus, we need different things as people, me and him. And so I can't give him the things I need or that I needed during when I was trying really hard. And that's a big. I think everyone tends to give the gifts or give the pointers that would work for them. And so with him now, I'm trying to be more careful in terms of like how does this guy learn, what is going to create the best performance situation for him.
Mm-hmm. Trying to be the coach instead of
Yeah,
like, I mean, are you sacrificing your like potential as a player while you're doing all this effort to put like more time into him and make
I,
him grow because you see more him
I don't
maybe?
think so. I think it's actually the opposite. And for a while, I thought that, but I think that's actually like a really like a misnomer that we have as people. And I'm trying to move away from that way of thought completely, just in general, where it's like a kind of scarcity mentality where it's like, well, I can only either work on myself or somebody else. While I'm
Mhm.
like, for instance, I just need to be a way better player to help him improve because I'm probably the person he plays the most. And the more mix-ups I learn with Fox and the more different things I can learn to emulate how top players play in America. Like, for instance, he double jumps a lot out of hits, and I punish him for it a
Sure.
lot. But, like, that's a situation, getting caught without your jump, that, like, a lot of pros are going to be looking for. And there's a lot more of
Yeah.
those that I could be learning and could be looking for. So it means that when I'm watching VODs, I'm improving my own game because, I need to be as realistic and as good as possible a practice partner. And so it's pushing me to get way better in that regard. And I think when we're looking at VODs, we're looking at things from just Fox's point of view of like, how do we beat Spud or how do we beat this player or that player? That's just extra study for me as well. So I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
just like coattailing off the work that if we are doing any work in terms of that direction, it's only helping me, I think.
We also have a group chat in New England on the Foxes for how to beat Calvar because he's our top Marth.
Yeah,
We have a little "Let's Beat Calvar" group chat that we all study his vods and talk about it,
that's
talk about
sick.
Fox Marth, and yeah. So I totally understand the little grind aspect there.
Yeah.
I mean, even today, I watched two different Armada analysis videos on just certain Fox matchups, and I had my little notebook and I was taking
Dude,
notes.
that's so
Felt
good to hear,
like
man.
I felt like a 16-year-old again, dude. Just
So good to
grinding
hear.
melee, just grinding, grinding, grinding. Just trying to get the most that I can out of my gameplay. But I'm boxed now too, which is a huge
Oh,
change.
really?
Yeah, yeah. I've been boxed for since like around after main stage, so like October of last year, and I've been strictly box, no controller anymore after that. And I'll be honest, dude, I'm probably better than I was on controller at this point. The box
Yeah.
gameplay is much cleaner. I can execute way better. It doesn't hurt my hands even remotely as much. Like controller gameplay would, after 30, 45 minutes of playing, maybe, less than that, I would be like, all right, I need to take a break because my hand. But if I stretch before I play box, I can play for, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours pretty well,
Nice.
stretching in between, but still being able to keep it up consistently, at least if I'm in a grindy mood,
Yeah, yeah.
which, pretty often nowadays, at least.
That's so good to hear, man. I was wondering if I was going to call
Hmm.
you up and hear, like, oh, I'm not feeling it, or, like, because as people get older, there's,
Oh, yeah.
perspectives on Melee change, but I think everyone at the moment is loving it. Uh, how was that first month on the box? Because I've played with it a little bit, and my first thought is always, I kind of disagree with it as a controller in general. I'm not really a fan of the idea of it,
Sure.
but I do like that it enables some of my favorite people to get back in the game.
Hmm.
Uh, that first touching of it though, and that first playing with it, my thoughts is always the first month is gonna suck. Like going all the
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's how I looked at it, because I totally agree with you that it was super tedious at first, and I knew that it was going to be like, I'm going to suck for a while before I can really get back on my feet. It came a couple months late. I ordered it in April of that year, and then I got it in like early July, I want to say, maybe mid July.
Yeah.
And I remember the day that I got it, I grinded on it in my work outfit for an hour before my job, and then went to work, came home, grinded. I think it was fucking 6 hours that night on box. Just it's crazy because it really just, the way that I look at it is it ignited a fire in me, because you get to relearn the game. Imagine going back in time, right? People always talk about this, how they're like, oh, if I could go back to when I had started playing the game in that scene, in that current alive golden era of Melee, but with all the knowledge I know
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
how far would I go? How good could I be? It was the same thing for me. It was just a different controller. So being able to take all the things that I already knew, all the flaws that I had, and being able to iron those out as I just learned how to do it differently and more technical and faster on this box, it made me want to play so much more. It made me
Yeah.
want to grind so much more. And I started to just see like a drastic increase in my skill over time, just because I just kept grinding it. And then I
Yeah.
knew it once I had gotten to a certain threshold that I could enter tournaments with it again. And once I had started entering tournaments, it was like I did okay. I was, significantly worse than I was before, and there was a big mental aspect of that. But um, it was not as bad as I thought.
Mm.
I think I got like seventh at my local monthly, which is like 30 players, 20, 25 players maybe. So it wasn't super bad,
And you're
but
beating people on it.
I was beating people on it. Yeah, yeah. I had beaten people that had given me issues on controller before. You know what I mean? Um, I was doing more. I was able to stick to a game plan better
Yeah,
because I wasn't getting as flustered with how my hands were feeling while I was playing.
for sure.
Because that was why I switched in the first place. It's just my hand pain got too significant, so I
Yeah.
couldn't play. Like I couldn't short hop nair without having my thumb like twitch and
Ooh.
being able to. Yeah, well, I mean, it was like, you know how like you hesitate almost and you're like borderline not touching the button
If
sometimes
you have to
when
think
you're
about
trying to
it,
dash dance.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, if you have to think about it. So that was how it worked for me, is that I wouldn't be able to autopilot because I'd be able to, or execute a game plan as perfectly as I wanted, because I would have to like hesitate and think about doing a short hop nair. that
Mm.
would like hurt my thumb, and then I'd be like, fuck, and then that would just snowball and escalate. And I definitely can attribute some controller set losses to just overall unbearable hand pain, but I mean that doesn't happen anymore with box, thankfully.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And it's great to hear as well that you took the chance to unlearn a lot of habits because you were having to go through everything again consciously. I think that's really cool. Like to do that with controller, to sit down and be like, I'm gonna stop doing these 5 things that I've just completely ingrained in my muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's hard to rebuild a game plan from the ground up on the thing that you learned so many bad habits with. But going to
Sure.
box, as you were saying, you know what kind of a game you want to be playing, and you just have to now build that from scratch, kind of.
Yeah, new framework on it.
What do you think
Yeah.
about the SDI implications of having a switch for directional inputs and stuff?
You mean like the modifiers?
No, I mean like how a button is like a one frame switch, right? It's like either on or off. So you can
Oh
be
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
rapid fire tapping, like say like down and out to DI away from like a fox snare and get a crouch, can't like get back to the ground, or like take a hit and be like rapid fire tapping when you know you're gonna take like a back air for survival DI, be like holding up but then like SDIing in as well and get like 2-3 inputs of SDI. Like something that on a controller is pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, sure, for sure. I guess I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. I totally agree that it's kind of bullshit, but
Mm.
it's the thing that it attributes to it is that like certain inputs, like certain slight DI inputs are pretty difficult to do.
Yeah.
Having to consciously use a modifier button in movement to be able to obtain those like crazy SDI crouch cancel inputs where
Mm.
like you need to be crouching at a certain degree and then you do the tapping. Like it isn't super like utilized. It's not super like it is possible, but it's not super performed, I guess is the
Yeah.
way to put it.
Luke in the chat saying
It's
that there's SDI limiters in the code as well.
yeah, I know other people that have read the whole 70-page hacks, manual on the box. I just kind of picked mine up and looked at the controls and then I just went
Just
from
got to
there.
work with it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
any
fair enough.
questions that I had, I'd go to hacks and just ask him about it.
I actually
But
played Gravy on the box, my first experience playing somebody on it, at
mhm,
Smash the Record, like 2.5 years ago now, probably.
sure.
And I ended up beating him actually, but I lost game one. And I remember thinking, this guy just moves like an alien. This is like if aliens came to Earth and started playing Melee. Like this, because
It's just
everything
super
was in
robotic.
like precise increments. It was like he would wave dash or he would dash, and everything would be moving almost like a fighting game. And he would be like
Yeah.
dashing forward and then pivoting. And I was like, fuck, his up tilt's online right now. Like I would jump in to try to catch a dash forward, and my nair would lose to an up tilt.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
Boxa just in general feels like a really fast NPC, like a 20XX CPU, you know what I mean? Just in general, with the whole movement. Hacks is a really good example of just the robotic aspect of it that you can perform. Like when you watch him play just like the hyper defensive, like pivot, drill, double shine, like wave dash forward, JC grab, continue.
yeah.
It's mind blowing the stuff that is like possible on it. But I mean, it's all obtainable on controller too.
Mm.
It just hurts your hands way fucking more to do it on the controller. If you take the time and like dedicate yourself to the box, then I think you'll see reward over time
Yeah, yeah.
with that technical. Like your reaction, your technical, and your punish can be so much more. I think so much quicker because it's not as limited to hand pains.
Yeah, but in general, something like a JC Shine, right? Like a dash JC Shine. If that's if that isn't like sliding your hand from Y to B, and that's just like button press,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could be so much more consistent at that, so much faster, because sliding your hand from Y to B is such a primitive thing to do to try to get that shine to come out during the jump squat, like before you leave the ground, or like
Yep. And then wave dashing perfectly out of it, getting like a jab. and
Yeah.
being able to just keep that like rhythm follow up going.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
all like you're doing so much work with your right hands to get that to happen
hmm
on a controller like sliding from Y to B, then over to I use X to wave dash. You know, it's like my hands just doing an around the world trip just to get the wave dash afterwards. Yeah.
hmm Yeah. I mean, I don't know the way that it's coming to my head right now. At least when I play box or do certain combos, it's like I'm looking at it through a DDR machine, right?
It's like
So
dancing kind
DDR
of.
machine, the notes come up. Yeah, it's like I'm
Yeah.
playing something. That's well, people would always joke about that, but I found that it was fun to on the way to tournaments. Like I would take my box out, unplugged and everything, but I would play it to the beat of the car ride, whatever the car song was like playing at the time, whatever tunes we were listening to. I
Yeah.
would just try and catch the rhythm,
Dude.
and that made me get really comfortable on the box really fast, just with having my hands everywhere.
Yeah.
Then I would think about the notes and I'd think about the moves that I would do and I
That
would
you were
just
doing, yeah.
practice. You
Man,
could shadow box. It's super easy.
that is.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. I remember we used to do that on road trips. This player in my region who doesn't really play anymore was notorious for it. He would have his controller out and he would be playing imaginary melee the whole way. And he would just sit there with his controller and
Just grind the
he
whole
would be like,
time.
"Oh, I'll probably miss that wave dash, man." He'd be like judging himself in his head, like, "Oh man, like that wave
I've
dash
definitely
bag probably wasn't the cleanest, man." And I would do it sometimes too. And it just that story like really reminds me of the spirit of this game, which is like being on the way to a tournament and just being so keen to play.
You're just so excited. That was me, and I wanted to play the box.
Yeah.
It just even playing it now. Like I haven't been playing a lot of net play recently, but even playing it now, it's just always fun. Always fun because I have three roommates that want to play melee too. You know, they're all melee heads. They've all been at least two of them have been playing as long as I have, and the other one's my brother. He's been playing for about a year, but he's solid too. And we just sit down, we just grind. That TV behind me, that's a
That's
big
a CRT
CRT.
right there.
That's a
Oh
CRT
shit.
with no lag at all.
Is that
It's
sitting on like a
insane.
PS2, no disc?
No. So
What is the white light in the middle?
my roommate's playing Final Fantasy X,
Oh,
so it
okay.
was a PS2, but
Oh
it
shit.
wasn't no disc. But yeah, we have a little futon in there. We just go over, we play melee, and we can just play and play and play.
Dude,
And
that's so sick.
it's fun to be able to experiment like new ideas with them at any time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If
Yeah.
I'm ever feeling like, hey, I really want to try this thing. I really want to try this new, tech that I've been learning out. Do you want to play some melee? It's like, yeah, let's do it. We just grind. So we have that nice little outlet.
Something that I actually took from Hacks real recently is he does against Falco
Mm.
running shine JC shine at the ledge, and it just
Okay.
insta kills him because if the first shine knocks him down, the second shine will send him out. So he'll like, because you know how if somebody gets knocked onto the ground, they're not really gonna leave. Like if you shine him again after he hits the ground, he'll kind of just roll. Like he'll be in a knockdown kind of,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
won't
Oh,
like
so if
he
he
could
rolls
slide
out,
off. If you hit the running shine and then the JC shine straight after and he misses the tech or he techs out, it just insta kills him because if he techs out to the ledge, the JC shine just sends him straight down.
yeah.
And if he misses the
And
tech,
then
it still sends him out at a pretty bad angle.
what if he holds down though? Wouldn't you just grab ledge? If he holds down, if he
Potentially.
misses the tech, he would just grab ledge, I think, right? Because if it's sending him off stage, if so, like you get the running JC shine depending on where you get him. Say you get him in like mid stage with a JC shine.
Yeah,
If you hit him and if he miss techs, he's not going to go to the ledge. But if you catch him a little bit to the left of the platform on the right, and you JC shine or running shine JC shine, if he holds down, miss tech holds down, and you don't do like shine up smash, he'll go to the ledge.
yeah.
So I mean, unless they're like on the absolute corner or on the absolute like Unless
If
you
the
know that
if
it's
the
going to
first
send them
one,
off stage.
yeah, if the first one knocks him down, I think you have a pretty good shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If he
Yeah,
crouch
no,
cancels
yeah.
the first shine, then yeah, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, yeah. If he crouch cancels the first shine, or if he is smart enough to or quick enough to hold it down on the second shine,
Mm.
that's why
But
you go for cum spike or shine up smash. Truth.
what's cum spike?
Cum spike is up throw triple shine.
Oh, okay, and it just insta kills him.
Yeah, it's just like a super flashy thing that Crush did in 2015 or 14.
Man,
He just up throw triple shine someone on a side plat and they just died.
he's so sick.
Yeah, he was nutty.
You reckon he's ever coming back?
Mm, maybe when he graduates from school, but other than that, I don't know.
Hmm.
Probably.
I still watch his VODs sometimes, man. He had such a clear vision of how he wanted to play.
Oh yeah, dude. He was no doubt a top 10 player. Just waiting to, because he peaked out at 15th, right? He got top 15.
Hmm. Yeah, I think
I think he
so.
got yeah. I think he got 15th, but he could have easily broken into that like that SFAT. Who's like 7 through 10 right now?
Dude, SFAT just always gets a win somehow. Like in my mind,
He
during
always gets there.
he
Yeah,
just gets a dub. Like
always gets there, dude.
he just
SFAT always gets to top 10, like
in in
somehow
my
getting
mind,
shit on
like
every
Crush was
tournament.
just better than SFAT. You know, like all of my
Hmm.
and I love Zach is one of my favorite players of all time,
Hmm.
and as a person and as a player, he's one of my favorites. For way different reasons than Crush. Like just in terms of his perseverance, his attitude,
Sure.
how many beatdowns he's taken and still just been like, I'm gonna
How many
get
L's
yeah, exactly, dude. I love players who just have taken so many L's throughout their career and still, despite people saying this guy is washed or like you know what I mean, like still gets up there and gets big dubs.
Yeah,
But
it definitely gets big dubs in the face
in my
too, for
mind
sure.
of like gameplay wise, I don't know if it was just like I liked Crush's playstyle better at the time, but I felt like he was doing some stuff that like was just not really even in SFAT's toolkit.
Yeah, well, SFAT played or still plays more like reactionary, trying to be like wannabe Armada Fox play style. Like I don't know,
Hmm.
I don't really like SFAT, so I don't watch a lot of his VODs, but I just see him get fucked up a lot.
Yeah,
But
but then he wins. Like he won this net play tournament. He
yeah,
wins stuff, dude, and he comes top 8 time and time again. Like he's like a staple of being a top 10
he's
player.
just clean. He's just clean. He just does the thing clean. He doesn't do anything sick.
Yeah, I think it's more about what he doesn't do as well. He's like removed a
He
lot
just
of
grinds.
fuck ups, a lot of like he's removed a lot of that. You never see him and you're like, wow, that was a really bad habit.
Yeah, or that was a really cool combo. Every
It's just
SFAT
straight
combo
down the
I've
middle,
ever
man.
watched,
It's just
it's
straight
been
down the
so
middle.
lukewarm. Just lukewarm, dude.
He just hits his back air and he goes on to the next match, dude.
he just drill, shine, down smashes. Like you got it, man. Didn't try anything cool. But I mean, yeah, he gets the job done. He does it.
Gets a dub.
Jack was so different because I mean, I shouldn't say so different, but he was pretty unique in that he used a lot of like really hard mental reads, like back to back. He had the mental reads of a Falcon player, but he just played Fox. So
Yeah.
he would do the optimal thing, and then he would like make you feel like a shitty player like multiple times in a row, and then just totally torment you for that with clean Leffen esque tech skill. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I actually remember playing him. He came up to me at fuck, what tournament was it? It must have been it felt like a Genesis or something. I think it might have been Genesis 6. Maybe.
Hmm.
Oh, it feels like before that because I think I remember telling the story on the podcast. But he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, Don B, you want to play a money match?" And I looked around and it's Crush, and I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I'll entertain this $5
Yeah.
sharking that's about to."
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Yes,
was
sir.
like, "Look,
Yes,
man,
sir. I will play, sir.
you must have come like ninth or something. Like you ain't make no money for being here. Like I'll donate my 5 to the melee gods for this experience."
Yeah.
So we sit down to play, and I think I actually won game 2 or something. Like it was, it was like close games. I think he
Just too good.
destroyed me in game 3. But I remember we went back to Pokemon and he was so just grounded. I was like halfway through the third match, I was just like, I just can't hit this guy.
Yeah. He'll kill you for jumping once.
Mm.
Like just one full hop and you'll die against him. Crazy.
Yeah.
You can't land against him. You could barely approach him because his dash backs were just his dash dance was so impeccable.
It was. He had clearly like put a lot of time into how he was going to move Fox in and out of ranges instead of just like dash dance, wave dash, dash dance. You know, like just he wasn't ever doing too much. I felt.
Yeah, but he was never not doing enough either. He was always bringing like a certain level of prestige like to his gameplay.
That's how
Even
it
if he
felt.
wasn't
It felt
playing-
like a luxurious playstyle, didn't it? It felt like a Louis Vuitton robe of a playstyle. Like it's like this is a premium item.
And that's how he wanted to live, and that's how he wanted to play.
It's so sick, dude. That's so sick. Like no degenerate options. Like he would see something like that full hop and he'd just be like, ugh, disgusting craftsmanship on that one.
Yeah, no, unbelievable. Why am I even sitting next to this fucking
peasant,
inferior being?
Yeah. And his whole persona as well. I used to love watching him lose, and he would just get up, blank face, and just be like, "Good game." Like he never looked bothered, man. Like sometimes he would look a little bit sad.
He never cared ever. Lost, win did not matter to him.
Yeah.
He never popped off. He never got salty when he lost.
And I really like that. He probably was a little bit like, you have to be as someone who gets that good. You can't be like, surely you can't feel nothing after the loss. Like you've got to be a little bit pissed off at yourself or a little bit whatever, but he never showed it.
Well, I mean, he did in tweets. He definitely did in tweets. But that was,
that was a whole
that
other
was the
thing.
weirdest. His salt was career building. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even the salt was luxurious.
Yeah. We were lucky to like have been able to even smell that salt.
Dude, that's what a unique player, man. Do you remember when me and you met?
Yeah. Shine.
I told somebody that story recently, dude. That was so fucking funny, dude. Both just walking around trying to money match. So it's like Shine, Saturday afternoon, classic money match time. We're just.
Is it 2016? 2017?
2017.
2017. Yep.
And we were just walking around looking for money matches, and we bump into each other, and we're like, "Money match?" It's like, "Yeah, all right, okay, $5, let's do it." We sit down and we both pick Fox. I'm like, "Okay, I like this guy."
I think we both took a sip of whiskey too.
Yeah.
I was thinking because I had a handle. Fireball.
We both had flasks. I had a flask of Fireball in my pocket, and so after game one, I don't remember who won. But we both whipped out the flask, and I think I offered you some, and you were like, "No, I'm good, dude. I got my own." And then after the set, we went and smoked a cig. We were just chatting and stuff, and you were like, "Do you want to just do doubles money matches?" And so we just ran around the venue for the whole afternoon doing doubles money matches, just getting drunker and drunker.
Just farming people, dude.
Just popping off on them and shit, just like taking big swigs.
Who was this Kid Boogie teaming with?
I remember that, dude.
This Kid Boogie was teaming with somebody, and we were giving them the hands. I remember that. We had tight battles with them.
Yeah, this kid was being a good sport about it as well, because we were just wasted at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he could tell. Kyle's a luxurious man as well, but of a more classical tune,
Yeah, I can see that. My biggest memory from that tournament was being really drunk during top 8 and falling asleep as Leffen was losing to Chudat. And like, I always fall asleep in boring top 8s. That's my jam, because by the end of the weekend I'm so tired.
Was that the UCF scandal?
Yes, it was. So
the UCF
I'm passing
scandal.
out, right? I'm just on my chair passing out, and Mike Hayes is next to me, and he's yelling about something. And I wake up, and he's like, "They're replaying it, man. They're replaying it." I'm like, I wake up, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Fuck you, Dad." Like, I don't know why. I have no idea why they're replaying it. All I know is I fell asleep with Leffen losing and just had sad dreams. And then I wake up to Mike Hayes yelling that they're about to start replaying it. And I'm like, Leffen's just going to fuck him in set 2, dude. He can't lose back to back. And Leffen just like 3-0s him.
Yeah.
And
Well, no, I think the replay was game five too, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I remember Leffen won, and I just remember being like, "Fuck you, chew dat, get out of here."
I,
Like, I don't care if you've been absolutely robbed of this dub.
Mhm. I remember betting with Chillin' Dude because I was also up in that area. I was betting with Chillin' Dude who was rooting for True Dad at the time because they were homies,
Of course,
obviously.
yeah.
And I didn't bet during the original set, and then the rematch happened, and I went up to Chillin' and I was like, "Yo, $10 that Leffen wins the rebat, like the run back."
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, dog, you got to make me bet on my boy." And I was like, "Fucking go!" And then
You farmed him for the free $10, dude.
farmed him for the freest $10. I'm like, dude, smart Fox player. He's gonna make the adaptation.
Yeah,
Like, are you
yeah.
kidding?
Leffen don't lose twice to this swabble.
Let's see if I can find that left and shoot that said.
I don't know who it was, but someone was like, Chew is in the back right now demanding a certain amount of money for this rematch. Like, he's not playing this shit for free.
Rematch was game five. Was it last stock? Yeah, game five, high percent, basically last stock.
I remember just the roller coaster of waking up from thinking that Leffen was out to they're going to do a rematch to that game five. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the final game just being there like, yes, yes.
Unbelievable, dude. I'm gonna share my screen. Does it pop up on there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my! Look at this fucking thing, dude. He wins the game five, and then he tries to like apologize. Hey, sorry, man.
Hey,
sorry,
sorry, man. Look at the crowd. Look at that crowd, man.
Oh,
That's
snap.
what I woke up to. Well, I'd been awake for a bit, but
I think I remember there was this Asian kid crying front row. I don't know. Oh, dude, I'm here. Literally,
dude, back then it really felt like
what is that? I'm right here. This is me. There's my case. Because there
I'm
was
probably not far off.
my case was right there. There was this kid. This kid right here. Do you see where my cursor is?
Yeah, yeah.
This kid had been cheering for Trudette so hard the entire time, and then he fell down when he lost. Look at him. Oh, see him punching? Oh, I don't know if you could see him. You could see him in the first set. He pops off like crazy, but that kid was so excited for Trudette to win, and then the rematch happened, and he became so sad. He started crying after Trudette had lost. Back in here. Yeah, the kid started sobbing. It was pretty bad.
Man, I hope Melee's just like that when we come back.
Just as exciting for Trudette.
Yeah, I hope the Asian kid who cries when Shootout loses is still there.
I do too, honestly. We need diehard fans.
We need that, man. That's what creates these awesome moments.
Yeah. The moments of beauty, the things we don't forget, the golden eras.
Speaking of the golden era and beautiful moments in Melee, make it to the next Smash Camp, man.
Smash Camp?
That's my advice. I know it's far for you guys, but don't fucking miss it because I don't know how it is third year going, but that first year at Smash Camp, man, that was like top 3, top 5 Melee memories for me all time that weekend.
Okay.
Easily.
Yeah. I'll definitely, I mean, Smash Camp is something that I've always wanted to go to, but yeah, I don't think an Arizona flight will be too expensive. I just need to, we have to get reintegrated back into society first.
Yeah, for sure.
I did acquire a new job, make sure everything gets set up, reaccumulate or reaccustom myself to that.
Yeah.
Make sure I get everything custom. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to. I think that'd be a lot of fun. See you, Mike.
Hopefully we're over there, man, because I don't know when this Corona shit's gonna lift. I don't know when we're gonna be able to travel into America.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how if we'd be able to get back. If Australia would let us back.
Yeah, how's the visa situation with that?
Well,
is that like a super pain in the ass?
It's not so much a visa. It's just that the borders are closed at the moment. I don't know when international travel's going to reopen.
right? Smash Camp isn't happening this year yet. I'm
It's
assuming
they're
all
looking
events
at
are going to
like
be
end of the year.
really. They're trying to do it.
Yeah, they're trying to do it.
Mm.
And we were going to be trying to get Josh into Summit as well this year, but I don't. I mean, they're still going to run a Melee Summit at the end of the year, and I don't know whether internationals are going to be able to go.
That's crazy.
Mm,
Imagine a summit with no international.
yeah, I think
'Cause
it.
who do you lose there?
You lose Leffen,
You lose Leffen. Is that it?
pretty much.
You don't lose Armada anymore. Ice can't go. Triff can't go. Random. Yeah, I don't know. You guys couldn't go. That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
Can't imagine you do it though. I feel like unless a like a international, because the international trade is so important, right? Wouldn't
yeah,
they have
yeah.
to
It's
keep?
important, but trade is still going because cargo isn't so affected. But I can be in LA in 18 hours, and if I'm sick, I can come home from LA and not even have symptoms. Like that coronavirus could live in my body. Whereas if you're shipping cargo, it's like going through icy water for 3 weeks or whatever. It can't really live out there.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum, but hopefully we don't have to miss too many great moments. That first Smash Camp, man, was crazy. Like it was just all these cabins in the woods. It's snowing, and there's just all these smashers running around this big park. Everyone's wasted. It's like going from house to house. Our house had like a full bottom floor, which was perfect. It was just like a wooden floor, like kitchen and dining area, which was just like beer pong tables and like all these setups, just homies doing all kinds of different shit. And then upstairs, it was like rooms of bunk beds, and there must have been room for 40 people.
Really?
Yeah, dead set. So it was
Holy
like
shit.
there was like the San Diego room. You walk past there, you're like, oh shit, it's like Gulu, Chroma, all of those boys are in there. And then the next room
Mhm.
was like me, Lud, Anthony, Nick, Nipa, Ben.
Fucking
And then
god,
the
dude. I
next
love all.
room, it was just room after room of like just the boys from every single
Yeah,
region.
just chilling. Huge. Yeah,
Huge. And
that
like the
sounds sick.
party would be going on downstairs. You can go upstairs and sleep if you've had enough. It was just like this crazy experience of like everyone's out in the snow in this giant log cabin and we're just having this best time. I remember Mikey came up to me and he was like, because he helped fly me out.
Shouts to Mikey.
Shout outs to the king. And he was
Shouts
like,
to the fuck.
are you having fun, man? And I got a beer in my hand. I'm like surrounded by my favorite. I'm halfway across the world because of this game with all these people I've met because of Melee. And I'm just like, dude, thank you for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, not only have you created this awesome experience, but you helped get me here.
Mm-hmm.
Like he at some point just decided like Don B needs to be here and he helped make that happen. And like to be looked after like that, man, I was just like, fuck, this is my family, dude.
Yeah, surreal moment.
Yeah, for
It's
real.
I, I know the exact same. I know a similar feeling because I did that with Main Stage. What was it? IBDW had bought me a ticket to Main Stage, so I got to go there for free with the flight, and I stayed with Mr. Anders and fucking Slime and Nick and Nipa
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
they
them
told me about that.
at that old house, and it was fucking awesome, man. It was a super sick experience. I got to commentate with Mikey. I got to do teams. I got to chill. I got I think 25th at that
That's
tournament
so
too.
sick, dude.
It was sick. It was just like it was literally like a top five weekend for me. For I mean, of all time, it was
Yeah,
just so sick. It was a dope ass weekend. Couldn't change
it's
it
the
for
best,
anything
man.
else. Melee has given me something that I feel like I would not have been able to find otherwise, and
Yeah,
in such a community and in such an outlet to be able to express myself and meet new people and learn and grow and develop. Just it's unrivaled, man. It's crazy.
yeah, and it's unexplainable, isn't it? Like when you
Yeah.
like I've been talking to this girl and she's like, "What's this melee thing you're always doing?" I'm like, "Well, I like told her like, oh, I'm sponsored to play melee." She's getting into it, being like, "You're always playing melee when I call you, like this and that," and it's so difficult to explain. She's like, "When you like?" Because we work together,
Do you want me to miss my ledge dash, honey? Like, come on.
and yeah, like just going through trying to, and just explaining to anyone, like family or friends or like a coworker, whoever it is, like, what's this thing you go and do on the weekend? And you try to encapsulate it as quickly as you can. It's like, oh, this game that we play. It's, I'm so proud to say that it is like such a unique and so much more than that experience. Like, there's no,
Mm.
I don't know of any other community that's like this. I've never been a part of something else that's like this.
No, and so grassroots and so
Mm,
down to its core, just something that people can do together to have a good time to forget about everything else.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
And
it does stand outside of those things like money. And it, when once people try to introduce money or try to commodify it, it's almost like, no, like, we've already found what we're looking for. And
mhm.
I'm so confident in saying that I'm willing to make such big sacrifices for this game, because I don't know much about what I want to do with my life, but I do know that Melee, I want Melee to be involved.
I want Melee to be there. I
Yeah,
just want it.
I
It has
I
to be
just know that.
my wedding, my fucking
Yeah,
my funeral, my whatever, dude. Melee has to be there.
and
Uh,
when somebody else tries to be like, oh, but what if we do so? It's like, no, you don't get it, dude. This, like, I'm content with just this.
we could just do this forever, right?
Yeah, yes, dude.
Play Fox Diddles on Battlefield until I was fucking 80. And
Fuck
it
it,
would
dude.
never get boring. It would just never get boring, dude. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I bring up. Anytime I try and explain Smash to people, I go, and this is my favorite thing about it, right?
Mm.
Because we can go at anywhere at any time other than right now, obviously, because coronavirus. Uh, Anywhere at any time and be like, hey, we play Melee in a local Facebook group. Can you house us for this time? We'll chill and just play Melee. We need to, visit for a weekend, or we
Mm.
want to visit Greece or Italy or something for a weekend. Just post in their Facebook. We can use, like, for example, one of us, we can just be like, hey, I'm this person.
Yeah.
Someone might recognize it. You know what I mean? They might watch American play or Australian play. They might
Mm.
see that and be like, oh, fuck, I know who this is. This guy's really good. You can go anywhere in the world and meet any kind of different person that you want strictly because of this game. You
Yeah.
can go anywhere, get housed anywhere, play different play styles, meet different people, do different things, all because you play Melee, all because of the generosity of the people that play Melee.
Yeah.
Smash road trip, you know what I mean?
It's just like a ticket to, like, a passport almost to this
Mm-hmm.
whole other experience, which could be happening anywhere. And I was saying this the other day. It's like, when you sit down, especially with someone who's around your skill level or maybe a little bit better, you just have an
Mm-hmm.
instant appreciation for the amount of time they've spent doing this thing. And that,
Absolutely.
whether I like the person or not, there's just a respect there. And I think it's pretty mutual when you're playing someone. And it's like, me and this person might have nothing in common outside of this. But because of this, now we're having food. Now we're having this animated conversation. Now we're having another coffee at 11 p.m. Now we're playing Melee till 4 a.m. Suddenly I wake up,
Yeah.
I look at that person and I'm like, this guy's my new fucking best friend's right here, dude. And he's,
Yeah.
I don't know what this guy gets up to in his in his normal life, but me and this homie about to play 2 days of straight Melee and just talk the
Yeah,
whole
but
time.
grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. Watch VODs and grind, do whatever, and
Yeah.
just chill.
And that's just
It's
the best,
beautiful.
man.
It's beautiful. It constantly feels like those golden times,
Mm,
those moments that, like, every single time that something like that happens, you're like, I need to remember this. I can't forget this.
yeah.
This is what I'll look back on when I'm 30, when I'm 40. This and so many other things that I've done.
Yeah.
Like, I look back on, like, Apex 2015, being there, having that be my first major. Like, I will never forget that tournament, ever, ever. I will never forget any day of that tournament,
Mm,
ever, because of how iconic it was,
yeah.
because of how it just influential it was on me as a player and me as a person, and all the things that I got to do and learn. And
Mm,
it's just, and there's, I mean, countless things like that that have happened to me alone in Melee. And I mean, I can't even speak for other people's experiences, but like you've been to a shit ton of majors.
mm,
Every single person that plays Melee, as long as we have, has so many different experiences that they will never forget until they're, dead or until they're super old. It'll always be something that they look back on like, damn, fucking Smash and Splash 5. That was such a sick tournament.
Dude, and
Or
that is the point of this show. Like, I want to be talking. I don't want to. I mean, I would interview Mango if you wanted to be on the show, but
Shouts to Mango. Shouts to Mango. Mango, if you're listening, big fan.
you know what I
Big
mean,
fan.
though, bro. Like, I would, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is like, I want to talk to like the swooper. I want to hear about. Even though he's posting some dark stuff these days, he sounds like he's in a pretty bad place. Like, I want to. I met that guy at a tournament. I want to see what he's doing. Like, I want to talk
Yeah.
to the people who are like I want to talk to Maybe. What's
Maybe the
Maybe
god.
doing, dude? He'd get on the show and go classic Donba for an entire hour and a half, but
I play so much net play with Maybe
Mm.
back when he was in New York,
Yeah.
back in 2014, 15, playing Smash Ladder. We would chill with Maybe because he was just a net play fiend. But
yeah,
Swooper, I mean, he's still really good. He's chilling.
yeah,
Not doing much though. I don't know.
yeah,
I have my opinion on Swooper, but for another time.
yeah. I mean, whether I find out, I roomed with the guy a couple of times. I don't know him that well, but hearing stories that are good or bad surrounding these events is what I want to do at the moment. And
Yeah.
as you were saying, those memories, that is like a spirit of Melee that I want to capture. And whether that's coming from Mango or whether that's coming from me or you or like the other millions of people who went 0 and 2 at that event.
The regional representatives.
Exactly, bro.
Every different unique story.
Hmm.
'Cause you grow up in a different kind of scene with different luxuries or different
Different players.
different players, different play styles, different characters, different everything, different types of people that you interact with,
Yeah.
different opportunities, different just just crazy everything. Yeah. I just couldn't even put it into words if I wanted to. How
The regions are so different.
how unbelievable this game makes me feel.
I
And
nearly
how
I nearly stayed in NorCal when I moved to America. I nearly stayed my whole trip in NorCal. I decided I was supposed to go to SoCal, but I met so many nice people in NorCal that I was like, maybe I'll just find an apartment here and stay the year here. And my whole trip would have been completely different had I done that.
Yep.
So it's like, who knows what would have happened? There's a million other late nights playing Melee, a million other people I would have met, opportunities that would have popped up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it would have been so different, but also still pretty much the same. And I think that's why we can relate to each other, is that there are so many similarities between the regions. It's like you arrive at some guy's house, it's like, you guys play Melee and smoke weed here too? And they're like, yep.
Yep. It's all right. Donnie, you got to come by sometime when you can.
Yeah.
Come back to New England, stop by the house,
I
bring
feel
a
like
board.
New England's my spiritual East Coast is my spiritual home. I always said this. Like, I was like, I know I'm from the West in terms of like where I stay, but
Mhm.
whenever I went to the East Coast, I was like, oh, these cool breezes, man. This is my zone. These pine trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd fit in real well at our establishment for sure.
Nice. You've been skating a lot, man. What's been going on with that?
Yeah, we have the half pipe. I mean, it's literally in the backyard. It's
So sick.
40, 30 feet away or whatever. Yeah, we've been living it up here, man, honestly. Skating on nice days when we can. Been doing a ton of yard work recently, so I haven't
saw
been
that.
skating as so much yard work, dude. Because
Mm.
it's a pretty relatively large property, so we just do what we can to clean up after the previous owners didn't. We make it as beautiful as possible so that it's as hot as possible. And
Dude,
we get
that's
mad
so good that your
puss.
boys are down to do yard work.
Yeah. Well, it's me, and then it's my brother, and then it's my two best friends that I've known since I was like 16 or 15.
Yeah.
Since I started, like literally since freshman year of high school.
Is that when you started
When I,
Melee?
yeah, freshman year of high school. I started when I was 15.
Dude, if we had a found Melee in high school, I don't know what would have happened.
You played Melee after high school?
Yeah, I started Melee when I was 20, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How old are you now? Wow.
27. I'm old as fuck.
Oh, you're 6 years older than me.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
met
No,
you,
I.
I was like, damn, this kid, like, because we were both drinking in the venue, and I just assumed
Yeah.
that you were my age, and then I was like,
Okay.
fuck, this man, really 19.
I was like, so I wasn't even 19. Was that 3 years ago? I was 18. I was 18,
Fucking
17,
hell, dude.
18.
You were like
Yeah.
just a little kid. You were still in high school. I was like traveling the world by this point. Like,
Yeah. I was being
I,
a
I
degenerate.
didn't really realize the gravity of like how different our lives were at that moment.
Yeah. I was raised on, I mean, like, started playing freshman year, and then sophomore year and junior year were just complete. I mean, sophomore, junior, and senior year was completely spent cutting classes to go to melee tournaments. Every
Yeah.
Thursday, I would cut class early, and we would go to this melee tournament an hour and 15 minutes away. We'd play PM primarily in melee. We would just grind and grind and grind and grind and grind, and it just didn't stop from there. And then slowly, like freshman year is I did wrestling as well, so I was pretty athletic at the time, and I didn't really have a lot of time to play melee, but I knew about it, knew about brawl, and I played brawl with my brother and stuff.
Mm.
Um, and then eventually, it just completely took over. I didn't care about high school anymore. I didn't have these like I didn't care about what anyone thought. I was
It's
like, dude,
crazy how it frees you like that, isn't it?
guys all fucking suck. Like I don't know why I tried so hard to be friends with like everybody.
Yeah.
So
It's
cut class, played melee,
it,
fucking chill, dude.
it's
It was
crazy
like,
how much confidence finding this game gives you.
yep, EX bursting. I was EX bursting through social interactions like nothing, dude. No one could hold a candle to me
Yeah,
anymore
you just
because
life
I'd been
becomes
getting
a joke, man.
I'd been getting flamed at melee tournaments for like 2.5 or like more like a year and a half at this point. So anytime someone at school tried to say something, I'd be like, "Yo, come on, dude. Come on, really? You're pulling out this fucking peanut gallery shit? Like, come on, dude." All of a sudden, everyone wanted to be my friend. I was chilling.
Yeah,
It was cool.
that's so funny.
Oh, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
That's another. No matter how frustrated I get myself at times for my gameplay or how
Mm.
angry I can get at other people for how they play. Anything that happens to me, no matter how shitty I feel about melee, no matter how good I feel about melee, I would never trade anything that's ever happened to me for a different interaction in the world.
Me neither.
Because I mean, all of those building blocks got me to where I am, and I'm
Mm.
so happy with where I am, regardless of how I place, regardless of anything like that.
Yeah, for real.
Being able to have the stories that I do, the experiences that I have, being able to say that I can do, certain things, being able to beat certain players, do certain things, whatever. It's just, yeah, like you said, it's liberating. Everything else becomes easy now because melee was the hardest thing that'll ever happen to me.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's like, as you were saying, when you're a kid and you find it, you're just like, well, this is just it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm rethinking that. Like, I worked a normal job for a while, and I was just doing normal stuff, and I think for a while as well after Bad Melee ended, I think of the three, well, probably Dawson more so than me, but I had a real aversion to being like, all right, I'm going to try to be like a community figure, or I'm going to try to like make a living doing content, or I had a real aversion to that. Even though people liked what we were doing and, we were making money on Patreon and stuff, a lot of that obviously as well comes off the back of how great Anthony and Dawson are. And Anthony especially certainly carried a lot of the aspects of that show. But I think,
It's still good content
yeah,
regardless.
I think I
I
was very much against, though, the idea of like being part of this community in any other way than being like solely a player. I was like, the only people who matter are the players. Let's get that straight, and everybody else is kind of just working around that. That was my mentality towards it. And
Sure.
now, having like come back home, worked a normal job in a couple of different ways for a few years, I'm like, I don't care if maybe my forte, maybe I won't be the best player in the world, but if I can tell people stories, and I fucking love doing that, if there's any way possible for me to do that, like I kind of just had that realization that you had in high school, where I was just like, fuck everything else, man. Like
Yeah, if I want to do this, I gotta do
if
it.
I
No
can
matter.
if I have to go back to couch surfing and just like doing my thing and eating beans and rice, like I will. And
Yeah,
I don't care that I'm
I,
getting older. Like
it's
because
just
that used to get to me as well where I'm like, well, I'm 27, like where the fuck am I going to be when I'm 35? Like do I still want to
mhm.
be like floating around, just on the kind of melee circuit? And
If it's there,
I'm
maybe,
thinking I'm coming to the realization that yes, I do.
maybe I fucking do. But who cares?
Who cares, man? Let's just drink
Who
another
cares?
Coors Light and fucking queue up in the next Battlefield game, dog.
I'm getting a fucking beer. I'm getting a beer done. Give me 1 second.
All right. I'm just getting water, chat. Don't get excited.
Ooh. Oh man, Donnie.
Yo,
On the real, how important is VB in an Australian diet?
very, very.
Like an ice cold VB.
It's good, man. I'll have to. I really want to bring some VBs for the boys so that they can all experience it.
Is it really just? It is another.
It's not
It's
like
just another.
anything you have in America. I'll tell you that.
So,
It's you might not like it though. Like a lot of people say it tastes like preservatives or it tastes fucked. They had to restore the original recipe because like Bogans, which are like our rednecks, complained too much. Like
Bogans. They're
yeah,
called Bogans.
yeah, that's what they're called. Well, like degenerates essentially complained too much. They changed the recipe because it's 1.4 standard drinks per can, and it's just like a domestic beer. They changed it to like 1.1 to try to stop like drinking violence or something, and people
Yeah, yeah.
just complained way too fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
So that yeah, they changed it back to the original recipe, and that's where it stands today. The like 1890 something recipe or whatever.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty hopping. I've seen a few videos on YouTube, just a couple meme videos about drinking VBs, about fucking how to be a
Oh,
sick Aussie.
oh yeah, that
You
guy in the truck. If you ain't drinking a
know?
VB long neck at 7 o'clock in the yeah,
And ice cold, baby.
yeah, yeah,
The guy's fucking cocked, man.
yeah. Get
It's
that up,
perfect.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Classic stuff.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
So what are you spending your days doing at the moment, man? Just net playing, hanging out?
So I came to a crossroads with NetPlay. I was conflicted because it's the only sense of competition we can have right now,
Mm,
right? It's the only competitive is NetPlay tournaments.
yeah.
East Coast is pretty popular for NetPlay tournaments. So I was enjoying those for a while, but then it just became so tedious to just deal with like those high buffer matches, those high ping matches, the shitty lag spikes that would just cause you to completely lose interactions and sets and momentum and shit like that. And I
You
would
get
take
your
it too.
input eaten.
Yeah, you get your input eaten, and it's already hard enough, you know. So that and there's only Falcos over here. It's all Falcos, all NetPlay Falcos. Characters OP as fuck on NetPlay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
Point it
feel
out
you. I
now.
feel you.
But a couple days ago, I put my sticks upstairs so that I wouldn't be tempted to play NetPlay. You know, remove the Smash Ladder bookmark, and I'm like, if I'm gonna play Melee, my thought process is like, I should use this time now to be practicing new ideas, learning new ideas,
Yeah.
grinding. solo tech specific things that'll help me because I can already like I already know what it's like to be playing other people. Like, yes, I want to play other players, but I get and I guess I'm pretty lucky when I have it. I have like the community of LAN players, you know,
Yeah, I
at
haven't
my own.
played LAN Melee in so long, man.
Mm, I
Actually, I'm going to a friend's place this weekend. I don't know if you
oh,
know SD, legendary Australian player. Used to be best in
is
the
he
country for a long time. Yeah, he's Fox as well.
okay? What's his Twitter handle?
SD Smash, I think. Did he won like our
You-
biggest major 2015, I think, 2014 era. He was easily the best.
mhm.
Hell, let me. It's SD Oz AU Smash.
2x Bam champion.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, the two-time.
Sick,
So
sick, nasty.
he lives like an hour and a half away from me, but I'm gonna drive up to his house. We're gonna play golf and play melee and just drink. It's gonna be the best. I can't wait. Because restrictions have been lifted here. You're allowed to meet people in groups of 10 now.
Really?
Mm. Because
That's
we've
crazy.
handled
What?
it so well.
Yeah, you guys aren't fucking brain dead like the U.S.
Mm.
So we get people protesting, saying they want haircuts, and that's why we should break quarantine is so that people can get haircuts.
Yeah, people really do love to troll in America.
Yeah, it's everybody's trolling, but it's all not trolling.
It's all real, yeah.
It's all real. It's all like, aha, the nice troll. That was super funny. Like, no way that's actually happening.
It's more
And
like
then,
griefing than trolling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're putting creepers in our fucking Minecraft base, dude. Just like laughing at us when we ban.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like we'll be back on another account, man. Don't worry about that.
They're smurfing on us like crazy, constantly infecting.
Yeah,
But
so you're giving up
uh,
the net play. It's kind of the McDonald's of Smash. It's like yes, it is food. Yes, you are playing another human being, and that's kind of the end of it.
lost. It's bad. It's bad for my mental because I develop weird habits
Yeah.
that are net specific. I like side B from ledge is so good because no one can react to it on net play. You know.
Mm. Turning on the Wii and getting to solo grinding though, it's a bit
Hmm.
like it's daunting these days, man. I used to do it all the time, but I'm just out of that habit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
in my mind, I'm like, well, I can't stream this. Like, I'm just sitting here, like, trying to do the same. Like, is it even my tech skill that's holding me back? Maybe I need to be playing people. Like, there's a million rationalizations to not be, like, shadowboxing and working on all of these new concepts just on a console.
Yeah. I think just real quick, it's something that I noticed that you had said. You can most definitely stream solo practice. I think streaming solo practice is good because you can interact with chatters that may have information if you have like a question about something.
That's
And I
true.
know at the time you're like, man, Twitch chat is so fucking stupid. So I can understand that rationale, but I feel like
Yeah, but
it's a good time for you to build like a consistent chat base that you can speak with and have look forward coming back.
that's cool.
That's
Yeah,
just
that's a good idea. Um,
but it's draining. Streaming is draining.
yeah. And solo practicing at the same time, I feel like it's something that I really want to be focused on, like what I'm doing, what I'm trying to learn. Not really just going through the motions of doing a million shield drops and talking to chat and the rest. I feel like when I am in that zone, I want to be like watching a VOD and then emulating somebody else's movement to get around a certain option, or thinking like looking at the screen and thinking, how much does Marth's forward air cover of this area? And how is that
Yep.
space moving? Because I feel like that's something that I still, to this day, I'll be like, okay, I'm dash dancing outside forward air range. Okay, the forward air hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
And then
always feel like I'm out of the range of that move specifically, and I always get hit by it. I'm like, all right, dash back, wait the forward air, dash in, get the grab when he lands. I'm like, oop, the forward air's hit me. I'm taking the 0 to death now. That's cool.
Yep. Oh, nice. He got his regrab. Nice. Oh, he got another regrab. Oh, so all right, I'm dead. Yeah. No, I know 100% what you're saying.
So yeah, visualization and all of that, I feel like is kind of hard to do while streaming, but we'll give it a shot.
No, I mean, it's always whatever you're comfortable with. I've
Mm.
definitely had certain streams where, I guess it all is based on the mood of that day, but
Yeah.
like, well, you can have days where it's like a no mic, no cam. You just go, and then whenever you want, you mute your microphone, and then you turn it on whenever you want.
Yeah, that's an
No,
idea.
just I'm just staring at the screen playing. If someone talks to me in chat and I feel like responding to it, I can do that.
Mm.
But other than that, it's just going to be dedicated practice to things that I want to
Yeah,
focus
I think I would rather keep my streaming to stuff like this, where
on.
it's like I'm really able to lend myself to creating something that I would want to look back on, or something that's like a journey that we can all go on together, or somewhere where I can really interact with chat, because I'm actually realizing one of the big things, and young me would have hated me, current me, for saying this, but interacting with the community and going on those journeys however we can, and at the moment that's mostly, obviously with quarantine we can't really do much else than online, sharing those
Sure.
experiences and trying to generate some hype with chat and go on different journeys. Like at the moment I'm doing a poker challenge where I try to run $100 into 1,000, and we're all learning poker together because I used to play that game religiously.
Love poker.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so stuff like that I feel like it's really fun, because me and chat can sort of experience the highs and lows of winning and losing and try to get towards this big goal together. And I like that now. And I used to hate that shit. When I started Melee, dude, I was like, people would come up and be like, you're the classic O2er thing, like the guy who's like 2 months new to the community and just wants to hang out. And he's like, isn't it great that we've all found this thing and we can just hang out together and have a good time? That guy? I was like, shut up, guy, you suck. You went
Yeah, fuck off.
yeah, I was like, you went O2, bro.
Stop
Shut the
breathing
fuck
my
up.
air. Stop breathing my air.
And I would just be like, I was bad back then. I knew I was bad, but I would call other people bad too. And like, I was just like, don't get it twisted. If we weren't playing this game, I wouldn't be here right now, dog.
Yeah,
Like,
we wouldn't be
we
talking.
wouldn't be friends. Like, I would
Just going to be a dick.
I would straight up tell people, like, they would be like, dude, the best part about Melee is the community. And I used to be like, dude, I wouldn't fucking look at you if we weren't playing this game.
It's Fox's trying to shield. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, I would just be like, no, I think the best part is the Melee, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
for
how I
real.
was. Like, I didn't care about any of that other shit. And now, my cold heart has been warmed. Like when I moved to America, I was the same. Like, I just wanted roommates who were as good as possible at Melee, and instead I met these people. I met this guy, David Chong, who he changed my life, dude. I ended up sharing a room with this guy, and he's one of the most. I love this guy. He's so nice. But when I met him, I had a headache from this tournament. Right, I'm driving home with these guys. I'm gonna check out this house. Envy Nick is driving me.
Love Nick.
Yeah, super homie. This is the first time I've ever met him.
He's the guy.
He's got a room for rent. He's been talking to me about it. And he's like, we have this roommate, David Chong. He's pretty cool. You're going to meet him. And I'm salty because I lost to Psycho Midget, who was ranked at the time. And I choked a close game 3. And at the time, I was like, I need to be making moves now. Like, I need to be improving. Like, that choke was fucking unacceptable. And I'm just sitting in the car. I've got a headache. I've been homeless for a long time, just playing Melee. I slept at the balcony the night before. And
God, like,
this guy, David Chong, is just sitting in the front seat. He's like singing to the radio. He's recounting his tournament. He probably went like 2-2. He's telling me like this he's telling me the story of like how I'm just sitting there silent. I have the biggest headache.
Numb listening to this dude talk
And
about
I'm
his
just like,
shitty.
and I can see that Nick is getting worried that Chong is going to be scaring me off living there. So when we get out of the car, it's like me and Nick chilling or whatever. Chong goes to sleep and he's like, dude, he's really cool. Like, you're going to love him. He's really cool. I'm like, I don't dislike the guy at this point, but I just have a headache. I'm like, this guy's a noob. Like, I'm just tilted at the world. I just can't listen to it.
Fucking talk to me. Just don't talk.
And
to
then
me.
we wake
Sure.
up the next day and Chong knocks on all of our doors and he's like, you guys want to get chicken and waffles? And we go to this chicken and waffles place. And it's the same. He's just talking like, and I'm like, oh, when are we going to play Melee? Like, I'm Sundeer as fuck at this point. I just like want to play Melee. I'm like, get these nerds out of here. Like, and we eat chicken and waffles. And I remember from that day for the rest of the year, David Chong taught me so much about life.
Just chilling, right?
He loses and he just gets upset. And he's like, it's okay to be upset when you lose. And I was like, is it? like watching this person experience life and how different his reactions were to mine. But I grew to like him a lot. And so I would actually try to understand this stuff. And like, I changed a lot that year as well. Suddenly these 5 roommates that I had were like the reason I came back, along
Yeah.
with like Anthony and Dawson and a bunch of other guys. Like, it became about the people for me by the end of the year. And we actually, on my last day in that house, like a year and a half later or whatever, we went back to the same chicken and waffles place before I left on the last day.
Oh,
So it ended the same way that it started, dude.
picturesque, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a movie.
But I went on a journey, like I really did. And yeah, now I'm just a big softie, man.
I mean, that's sick. You have to have people like that who keep you grounded, you know,
Mm.
who keep you from getting like too egotistical and too involved into the game where you fucking just stop caring about interacting with other people and it's only about the game and you don't make any friends from it and you just like you completely skip out on that experience of like involving yourself in the community and trying to
I
become
think it
like
came from a very scarcity mindset place of like, this is what I have to do to get good.
yeah,
Like all
I
these
have to
other
be the best.
people aren't doing that. So what I have to do is just always be thinking about the game, always sacrifice friendships or sacrifice everything else for the game. And I think the great part is that isn't really true.
Yeah,
I think you
I'd
can,
actually
because I didn't get that good in that year, like in the grand scheme. I think I made a lot of learning errors.
probably had the most fun though,
Yeah,
which helps you learn the most.
yeah.
Was melee the first thing that you ever took seriously, like super
No,
seriously?
poker was.
Poker?
Yeah.
Like did you take like how would you compare the two?
I'd say
What did
poker
you
was
take
almost more serious.
really?
Other than that year where I like was kind of full timing melee, like even full timing melee wasn't. With poker, it got to a point where I was being coached 2 hours a day. I was coaching other people for about an hour a day, and I was playing 8 hours a day. And then I would like do my
Wow.
own review. So with my coach, I spent about 2 years getting coached by this one player, and by the end of it, I could pretty much recite every scenario that he was going to say. We would be like 3, 2, 1. You bet 85 here, and if the turn comes to this, you bet X amount on the river. Otherwise, you go check call. And we would pretty much make the exact same play every spot. And studied religiously, played a lot, and was set up to make a fair bit of money going into my 3rd year doing it. Basically, in the first year, you make almost nothing. You barely play. You just study. You play like penny games. In the second
Yeah.
year, you can kind of build a bankroll. In the 3rd year, you can get moving. Do I still coach poker? No, I'm way behind on the meta now. I'm like rusty myself, and the meta's changed a lot. But I still play. I'm gonna be playing
You
after
know what?
this.
That's what blows me away. How do you're playing after this?
Yeah,
Yeah. What kind of games you playing?
playing 5 cent and 10 cent cash game, no limit hold'em on Ignition, the greatest software ever made by human beings.
Oh, is that like on the website?
Yeah. Got to play online. So I was playing all online back in the day before online got banned.
Wow.
But yeah, that was like
Um,
my first really serious grind. And the reason that I actually got into Melee was me and some homies were playing Melee on every second Thursday. Like on Wednesdays, my buddy would come around after uni and we'd play Melee because we used to play it in high school just to fuck around.
Sure.
But we actually started playing Smash 64, me and 3 other buddies, and losing team had to buy pizza and beer. And we would play best of 11 sets
Sick.
of best of 3.
Of best of 11. Oh, of best of threes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So,
I'm familiar with the format.
So like this sets would span like all night. We would play with team attack off, so you could just do the most insane combos. Like someone would come down, my Captain Falcon would just up smash into my friend's Captain Falcon, who would down air them like into a gap in that Pokemon map or whatever. Anyway, we got super competitive playing 64, and then these 2 friends, we would play Melee with the same group, and they would come around on Wednesdays to play Melee. And once poker got banned in America, it pretty quickly became banned in Australia as well for the same reasons, tax bullshit. And
Wow.
so this was around the time when the documentary came out. And I remember just being like, yes, why did we ever stop playing this game? It's so good. I got these 2 buddies. We were training up. We went actually before the documentary came out and before Evo 2013.
Wow.
We went to a tournament and we were practicing up. We got washed, of course. My two buddies were like, "This sucks." They quit. I kind of quit as well. And then after the documentary came out and after Evo 2013, which might have been like 6 months later, I was like, why did I ever stop doing this? This is awesome. Poker was gone. I was pretty much having to go back to school. Actually, there was a year where I did both, I think. But I wasn't so into Melee yet. I was playing poker and I was doing Melee as well. But then basically once poker got taken away, all of that study and all of that passion and like all of that, I have to be good at something because that's my identity. That just all channeled into Melee.
All that determination, all that drive and stuff. Just all of that. Yeah. For me, it was I played Brawl with my brother. My brother, like growing up, my brother would always have his friends come over and they'd play Brawl, and they were pretty cool. They had good fundies, so they would have like parties over, or like parties, a bunch of people over,
Yeah, yeah.
and have, like hype matches of just them playing Brawl. Everyone's fucked up, and they're just like, "Whoa, oh my fucking god, Brawl! Whoa!" And I was like, I kind of want to be involved in that.
They were just
hype,
getting around the energy.
Yeah, I just want to be around the energy. I want to be in that hype. I want to play these matches. Like, I want to be the one that's like getting his fucking dick sucked because he, won Pit versus Lucario on Battle. I want that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would always ask my brother if I could play with him. Little brother, big brother shit. Hey, can I play? Can I play with friends? Whatever.
Yeah.
And eventually he's like, he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, there's this Brawl tournament tomorrow. Do you want to grind all night and then go to this Brawl tournament tomorrow and try and win?" I was like, fucking hell yeah. So I thought Fox was cool, played him in 64, and then I learned how to drill up smash. It was a confirm and Brawl. It was literally drill, and it popped him up on the last hit, and you could up smash afterwards. And I ended up getting, I think, third at that Brawl tournament.
So you made money at that Brawl tournament?
I literally made money at the Brawl tournament. Oh, it was store credit. We were getting I got store credit. Yeah,
that's a classic scam.
Yeah, I got scammed so hard. That's when you don't have someone that effectively runs the tournaments. But
yeah.
After that tournament, we played Brawl for a bit more. We went to a couple more tournaments at the same store, and then the documentary came out. Watched the documentary, and I was like, "This is the best thing that I've ever seen in my entire life." And so we started playing Melee, and then we started playing Project M.
That's what was accessible back then for some reason. I remember Project M was the big wave.
Yeah, it was huge, man. Xanadu was a big thing too because they were already Project M. But I remember the first time I ever played Melee. I played Peach versus Falcon on Yoshi's Story on an unlocked Wii. Or on there was nothing unlocked on the GameCube, I should say. And I said, this game sucks. It's way too fucking fast. Like, this game is trash. Because it was too fast for me, dude.
Yeah.
How ignorant could I have been, And then, play it a little bit more, play PM a little bit more. Oh my god, like, this has a lot of potential. Learn how to wave dash. You learn how to L cancel. You keep going. You start going to your first tournaments. And then that's where the whole cutting school to go to tournaments era really came in, was after playing with my friends in the basement, 6 of us, 7 of us deep, just playing Smash. And I had attained what I actually wanted the whole time, which was that hypeness, that ability to just like get the homies over, get fucking hype about playing Ganondorf Dittos on Smash.
It's just the best thing in the world, isn't it?
It's just it built the community that I have now.
Yeah.
Two of my roommates, the ones that sit next to me at this mega desk.
That's so sick, dude.
Literally were the ones that I learned how to play Melee with. We sat in the basement and just played Ganon Dittos and fucking we figured out everything, figured out how to wave dash, went to tournaments together, grew, and now we fucking come full circle. We have a house together.
Yeah.
My brother has a house and we all live together. We play Melee together. We fucking skate together.
It's the best, dude.
Melee gave me everything. that I could ever want and
Yeah.
more.
And
It's just unbelievable. I couldn't be thankful for anything else.
mm,
I couldn't attribute anything that I've ever could consider success or any kind of loss that I could have to the fact that I got everything that I need right here, you know?
and I think another thing about the game, I was going to bring this up earlier, like it simulates conflict in a way where you have to be live with the person. Like you still live with these guys. And I'm sure
Hmm.
there's been nights where like one person's mad or like one person's pissed or like, whatever. And
Sure.
it like I used to have a guy in my region that I had such a beef with. We actually came up playing at the same house, like in the same crew kind of. And
Hmm.
basically our best player in the region, SD had kind of left a while ago and Dekar was the other best player and he was like on a hiatus. So it was going to be between me and this guy Billy of like who was going to be basically up next. And
Hmm.
I would post in like tournament threads. There was this one tournament at a coffee shop and I'd post like haha free. And he would get in there in the comments. This was like Facebook shit, like real beef. Like he would be like, "You're the most toxic person in this scene. Fuck you. Like you're a dog." And then we would talk like we wouldn't talk like we would see me and him would just be like we wouldn't say a word. Like whoever loses, like get fucked, idiot.
Yeah,
And you just can't
sure.
talk. Like if you lose for that week or that month, if there's only one tournament a month, that's it. Like me and him were just ice cold.
You just have to hold that
You just
shit.
have to hold
You
that
can,
L. But we
mhm.
never just stopped. We could never just stop interacting. And now I talk to the guy. I see him. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like we're friends again, kind of." But
Yeah.
in any other real life circumstance, especially in 2020, people are just bitches. People will just stop. It's just like block, And it's like, no,
Everyone's
I
so.
have I have to go to a venue. I have to go to a gym hall and sit next to this guy.
Hmm.
And whether we're going to talk about it or not, that's there.
Yeah.
Like all that
We
shit.
have
Yeah,
there.
and like we're not going to make up. There's going to be a beef, but that's kind
If
of
we're,
okay. And we
it's all.
moved past it. And the game forced us to be in the same place.
Hmm.
And I like that aspect of it as well. And I like the aspect of it where young guys come into the scene. Maybe they're a bit weird. Maybe they're on that fucking 4chan poll shit. Maybe they're sipping the red pill. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe they're on some of that shit.
You're fucked up, but yes.
Maybe they've been, because like a lot of these guys, man, the community is like, it's like a spiritual experience. It changed. These guys are like wayward kids who spend too much time on the internet looking at fucking Bulbasaur R34. You know
No,
what I
yeah,
mean,
no.
man? And
I 100%
and they
what you
come
mean.
to the community, and we're really lucky in Victoria. We've got a bunch of older guys who play the game who live pretty normal lives. Who are pretty cool guys. A lot of these
Yeah,
guys have long-term girlfriends. They've got a place to live. They're doing pretty well in life.
sure.
They're like doing well by the standards of society.
Smashers in society.
Yeah, and so these kids have role models, and a lot of the people who are better at the game are also pretty functional human beings. Can talk to someone and be like, "Hey, maybe that's not cool, man." You know,
Yeah,
we're all
yeah,
drinking over here, or we're all doing this, but we're gonna do it in like a safe way.
yeah, for real.
Yeah, so I'm super glad of that aspect as well. That I've seen a lot of
It,
people do 180s because of the scene.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen so many people be so drastically affected by the scene in positive manners.
Hmm.
I've definitely seen it in negative manners as well, don't get me wrong, but positive manners primarily.
Yeah,
Oh, what was that?
I think you DC'd for a sec. Maybe I did.
A split second.
Oh well, we're back.
If you take, uh, wow, why did I forget what I was talking about?
Positive
Drastic
manners,
changes.
mostly for people in the scene. Young guys come in, mostly changes them
Oh,
for the better.
yeah, they get the sample set. There's a fucking 15-year-old in New England right now who literally tweeted about me twice in one day and said, "Go follow Get a War Machine 420. He's a real nice dude." And I don't follow this kid. He's been pretty like relatively annoying to me in the past. Um,
It's like that though,
but
isn't it?
it's just you got to be honest with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's how you put the hair on their chest. That's how they know in the future that what they're doing is fucking whack. But he said like the go follow this guy, he's great, and then immediately afterwards he's like, I just thought of the worst tag of all time. Get a War Machine 420. Let me know if you agree.
just
trying to
just being a
trying to like
little,
take a jab, just trying to get me to
just
do
trying to get you to
something. You know what I
respond,
mean?
bro. He just
Just
wants
like
your
please
attention.
talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just and stuff like that. When people do things like that, they obviously will get the repercussions of their actions
Yeah.
of the maybe people don't like it on social
And
media or they say you're a fucking idiot, but
it's up to the
it
bigger
all
brothers to
builds
dish out
exactly
when
the
some shit's
positive
whack.
helpings.
Positive, like, yes, that's good, or
Hmm.
like, no, that's fucking whack. Stop that.
Yeah, don't fucking do that. Yeah, and then then they get to learn from that, build their own little bases off of it, and it's all character development, dude.
Hmm.
No matter what, every conversation, every interaction, it's all plot development because you'll think about it at one point or another.
Yeah.
There's very few times where you'll genuinely say, "Oh, I wasn't thinking about that too much," but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've got
Oof,
one kid in our
there's so
crew
much.
who's turning 21 soon, and I've known
Hmm.
him since he was 14. I gave this kid his
Wow.
first beer when we were all chilling playing Smash at our old crew house. Like, we've known this kid and we've seen him go through high school. We've seen him have a million problems. Like, he's been bullied by the crew, you know. Like, I used to make him get my beers, and then one day I was like, get two. And he's like, whoa, you're gonna have
Yeah.
two? And I was like, nah.
Can I have one with me?
Yeah. I used to make him
Yeah,
go to the fridge,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just all that kind of shit. Like,
Hmm.
and this kid has been like, to this day, like, the crew still sometimes rips into him when he's being an idiot. And then
Yeah,
someone
but
will
you
be
have
like,
to have that.
yeah, yeah, in some ways. And it's like, he got, I think in high school a lot of times, like, he didn't really fit in terms of like the area that he grew up in is like super private school, like jocks and stuff, and he's not really that guy. But I think
Hmm.
having like 8, 10 older guys be like, no, this kid's cool, man. Like, I think that boosted him a
It's
lot.
confidence building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
oh
he's
for
like, these
sure.
guys think I'm cool, and we were like, yeah, this Huey kid's cool, man.
And then he goes through the same shit that we were talking about earlier with like that melee experience, how freeing it is,
Yeah,
how
exactly.
invigorating it
Suddenly
is
he's
for
not
you
just
to.
this kid at high
He
school.
doesn't
He's
give
got
a
these
fuck if
older
these kids
friends.
at school. Exactly. He
Yeah.
doesn't care if these fucking jocks don't like him. So it's not like because in high school, right? If you didn't have melee and you're that kid, you're constantly going to be thinking about ways for you to fit in more if it's something that you dwell on a lot. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. Of course.
And and obviously, I don't know the kid. I don't know the actual situation, but assuming it was like that, maybe he does have issues. Fitting in. When you dwell on that shit constantly, it takes a huge toll on you.
Yeah.
It makes wanting to do other things become super, super difficult.
Mm.
To be able to find melee early on or at like just the right time to be able to like get that huge excel in confidence and that huge excel in just like social interaction, realizing that
Mm.
not everything's about high school. That shit doesn't matter. Like
Mm.
fuck these guys, it doesn't matter. I do my own thing.
Yeah. I got
Thing
my own crew.
about
I got my own friends.
exactly the big thing about doing that like whole social interaction of high school or college or any kind of like big public setting like that is people are more drawn to those that have their own game plan or their own set of confidence or their own they're not trying hard, they're being leaders more than followers, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I'm gonna go do
They're
my thing.
trying to exactly they're doing their thing as opposed to like hoping that someone else comes up with something good so that they can do that
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
uh, yeah, it's
People are
it's
drawn to that
absolutely crazy.
person for sure, and that's what creates like magnetic people.
Yeah, no, I super hard agree. I think that was, and I feel like I say that almost from experience. You know what I mean? That was me.
Dude.
That was my upbringing of like, I fit in with some people at school, but not everybody. And then once I found melee, I stopped caring. And then once I stopped caring, more people wanted to be like, "Yo, you're doing your own thing, and that's so fucking cool."
And
And I
like
was like,
actually stop caring, not just pretending.
"Yeah,
Like, you get
exactly."
that advice where it's like just pretend you don't care. It's like, no, bro, because then you'll have a really negative attitude about it, and you'll be like,
You're thinking about it too
yeah,
much.
yeah. But when you actually
Hmm.
don't care, it's like not something that you really ever consider. It's just like you're sitting in class thinking about how you're going to go do some other cool shit later, and people will vibe with that.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
it's
they
real.
they can recognize that. They're drawn to it. Yeah, it's
Mm.
super real.
All of
It's
the
fucking
best times
crazy.
of my life where I've been like a real giver and a real like role model and someone with a plan, someone with that, you don't think about it. When you got your swag, you know what I mean? Like when you got your swagger on, you don't
When you're
think
just
about it at
chilling,
all. The only time
no one can.
I feel like the only time I'm ever tripping is when that's gone. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only time when I'm thinking like, oh, what do people think of me? Like what am I gonna do to like, oh, is this cool? Is this not cool? Like when you have that other thing, that confidence going on, like you just don't. That shit doesn't even occur to you.
Yeah, no, that why would it, you know? Why would it
Mm,
even affect you? Because it's
yeah,
only negative. It's only going to bring you down when you care too much about those external factors that just shouldn't have
yeah.
any effect on your decision
And
making, you know?
having that start in high school for you, where you're always second guessing, oh, I'm always this guy, and then you'll say anything to get people to like you, and that just makes it worse.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
suddenly,
You'll do anything, you'll say anything.
and there's
Yeah.
like the momentum's just all not going your way at that point. Like you're going deeper into, and like that can start in high school and that can carry over into like university, into later life, and suddenly you're just kind of this guy who's just that bitch, and you just don't really have a
You're
direction.
just you are 100% that bitch.
Like
You are
you,
just so unbelievably that bitch.
yeah, it's true, man.
Turbo Virgin, that bitch,
Just getting
playing
shit
Gary's
on,
Mod at
just
26. I
salty,
know.
sipping red pill and
Mm-hmm.
shit. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
just, and then it's everybody else's fault. It's like you're fucking
Yeah,
dwelling
yeah.
on this shit that those guys in high school who punked you are still owning you because they're still in your brain, and they forgot
Yep,
about
they're
that
just
shit
living rent
literally the
free,
moment.
dude.
They forgot about that shit the moment it happened.
Yeah, rent free and
Just
just fucking just digging and digging and
yeah, and
digging a
it's like
hole
you're
for
just going
yourself to
back
live
over and
in.
over it. Yeah, it's fucking nutty, dude. Like, and that can all that can be changed with just the and I guess on that topic, we kind of went on this one, but this guy I'm going to go visit SD on the weekend. When I started, I was 20. He was like 25, 26,
Sure.
24 maybe.
Wow,
Anyway,
so he must be 30 now,
he's
right?
30. He just got married.
Unbelievable.
The big homie. But I used to
Big homie.
follow this guy around tournaments, man, because he was the best. He played Fox, and the thing is, he's a sports writer. He's like good at golf and shit. He played sports his whole, he's not an like that nerd Smash player. He's like a big
No,
guy,
he's
like
an above average Joe, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I just thought that was so cool because people would ask him shit. And he'd be like, I don't know, bro. I just play this game. And he got
Yeah.
really good just like wanting to win and wanting to outsmart people and like just with a winner's
Hmm.
attitude. And like everywhere
Sure.
else around me, it was like everyone was just being a big nerd. But I would watch this guy and he's just going fast. He's just fucking like just brutal, visceral gameplay. And I would
That was
ask him
me
a
with Jack
question,
White.
dude. And I would just follow him around the venue. I would just want him to play a friendly with me, dude. And we'd start playing friendlies, and we'd playing and playing. And first of all, we'd just talk during the game, and then he started housing with me when he would come to town. And he looks at me one day and he goes, "You know what, Don? The better you get at this game, the more I like you." And then we just go back to playing.
It's perfect.
But like, he's now one of my best friends and someone that I looked up to a lot.
Hmm.
And that same experience of like me giving this other kid the beer and like we're going to this kid's 25, like he turned 21 in quarantine, which kind of sucks, but he still
Yeah.
talks to our group chat and he's like, boys, like what's going on? Like back in the day he'd be like, oh, I like this girl, like do I go on a date with her? She's being kind of weird. And we'd be like, no dude, she's fucking time wasting on you right now. Like he'd tell us what was going on and we'd be like, here's like
Play cool, play
some
cool.
of the
We got you.
some
We
of the
got
more
you,
experienced guys would just be like,
yeah. The veterans.
give him the fucking the 411 on like, dude, you're getting trolled and you can keep
the
going with
ones
it.
who own land. You know?
Yeah. And then like, you know what I mean? Like that whole culture. And now like my big homie SD's married and I still look to him in some spots. Like
Yeah.
I don't have it all figured out. And it's this great chain of strength that goes all the way down to that new kid who's showing up for his first tournament. Maybe he's 14. And I think those like predominantly male and predominantly like community based spaces are kind of falling off. And that's why you're getting these kids who are like surfing fucked up websites. And they think like someone's explaining them something. And they're like, well, for the first
That's
time,
their niche.
someone's
That's
got a
what
plan.
defines them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
not only is that a community, but it's like, well, this plan sounds like it's, I don't know much, but here's some information that at least reads like it could be correct.
Yeah.
Like, and so I feel like Melee is just this great, very
So
rare counterbalance of that.
Dude, it's just so unbelievable. the downsides of melee are so small compared to the upsides of just everything that someone can get out of it, you know. The mental like, and I guess that means like melee is different for everybody, but someone that would play melee with the intent of getting good, I'll air quote good,
That has different meaning
for
for
like,
everyone, right?
yep, for like 3+ years, where they get to go to at least like one major and they get to experience so many different things
Hmm.
of what melee means for them. I get flabbergasted just thinking about all the things that could be said about this fucking game, dude. Ugh.
Hmm. But that aspect of and thanks for telling us the story of like you playing in high school and stuff and
Oh
that.
yeah, dude. We would play in the fucking cafeteria, man. We would get
You were the
my
bathroom
buddy.
boys, the bathroom
Yeah,
PM
no,
setup.
my buddy Victor would bring in a BenQ monitor that he had. His For some reason he was so ahead of the game with BenQs, but he brought in a BenQ and oh man, I could go off about this. He would bring it in a little like plastic shopping bag with a GameCube and everything, memory card, everything unlocked.
Yeah.
And we had this, it was called a CAF study. It'd basically be a period in high school where we could sit in the lunchroom and just, do homework, chill, talk
Hmm.
to people, whatever. But we would play Melee. And we just found an outlet. We started playing. We would, get crowds of people to come over, and I was still the best at that time because I had been going to tournaments and I'd be grinding. I remember doing a 3v1 money match for all of them put $5 in and I put 20. So I said, I'll give you guys $20 that you can split amongst you three, but you guys all have to put in five. 3 versus 1, team attack off. They said team attack had to be off. It was crazy. They were noobs, but they knew about that meta. How it makes it
How it makes it way
so,
harder.
so much
They're
harder when
basically
team
playing a
attack's
free for
off.
all with team attack on.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and I won in front of like 15 people. It was sick, and I mean, we eventually got yelled at because we were being one, too rowdy, and two, it was like, you're not supposed to play video games in school, you fucking idiots. And
Yeah, you're already pushing the rules a little bit, but once the
it's like,
yelling
come
starts,
on. Yeah, yeah. Once we start hollering and slapping tables and calling each other idiots and shit, and then people get mad. But we would play Melee like every single day in the cafeteria if we could. And
yeah,
then I would go to Magic the Gathering tournaments with my dad after school on Fridays, and we would, in between rounds, play Melee there and just keep playing, go home, play net play with my friends, or wake up on the weekend, drive down to my buddy's house, play more Melee.
hmm.
It never stopped. Never stopped. I grinded like 3 tournaments a week for like multiple years just because I loved it so much. And I would just make money matches just enough that I could get gas and get to the next
Dude,
tournament just for years and
you
years and years.
you're pulling on my heart, man, with these
I
stories.
just I
You're just
lived it.
laying
I
it on
lived it.
thick.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
and you
just
can
lived
tell
it
that.
all.
And I think when we ran into each other, like I could instantly tell that. You know when you can tell someone's been like not only at the setup for long enough to be good at the game, but in the car
Mhm.
park talking shit, smoking cigs long enough to be good at that too.
Dude, you've just been through the shits, man. You've
Yeah,
just you're the beaten horse.
you know
Dude,
how
you've
to
seen
kick
it
it
all.
too. I think knowing how to
Hmm.
kick it is the sign of like a seasoned melee player because even the nerdiest top players they got a little swag, man.
Oh yeah, they can chill.
Yeah,
They can
yeah,
chill.
they know how to hang out around the
Hmm.
Mario Party setup.
Yeah, for real, for real. They
Yeah,
can hang out with all types of people
yeah,
for sure. But I mean, yeah, man, it never stops. In any kind of story like that, that's the best thing about Melee for me too, or one of the best things is that I can tell stories like that to any kind of person, whether it be someone that plays Melee or someone that doesn't play Melee, and I can talk about playing in my high school cafeteria for money against the fucking jocks and beating their ass and having the hot girls look my way
dude,
with their
that's
fucking
that's
thick,
so
with their
hype,
thick asses and shit.
dude.
It's
That's
just
so
pulling
hype.
it, and anybody will smile from it. Anybody would be like, "Yo, that was fucking sick. That was dope." And I got it from playing a video game and being a
Oh
nerd
man,
and getting that dope moment. It's not. It's just crazy how few people can say that they've done something
And
similar.
that's not like going the traditional method to get the. It's not the story of like, yeah, I was just really good in football when I was in high school, so I was just like fucking Stacy like when I was 17, and that's like that's like everyone knows that
Yeah.
story. Like it's like
Yeah.
cool, dude. Like that's almost isolating because it's
Whoa,
like,
you're
well,
big and
yeah,
play football. Like,
you're cool,
whoa,
man. But
Madden's
to go the other
cool.
route and be like, I brought a CRT to school and money
Yeah.
matched 3 kids at once. Like,
I played Marth too. I couldn't. I knew I couldn't play Fox. I had to play Marth.
dude,
I smashed
sometimes you have to resort to, you can do dirty deals with Marth in that situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They had no idea.
Mm.
Oh man.
Now,
It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, and this is reminding me again, like, thank you.
Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I can do this.
Is that like
No.
Polaroids from tournaments or something?
Yeah. Well, it's just Polaroids. It's the thing in general is it looks like a Smash logo
Mm.
first and foremost,
Yeah,
but it wasn't intended to do that. We found it in a convenience store with just it was like picture frame. It was like a wall mounted picture frame, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
had nothing to do with Smash. So there was that, and then
That's so sick.
yeah, it's just got little Polaroids in it. It's a beautiful, little thing, man. We can find it anywhere. Smash anywhere. We can literally
And
find Smash anywhere, Donnie.
yeah, the irony is, you guys were probably on the way to or from a tournament when you found that.
Yeah, yeah, we were actually. It's so funny that you said that because we were.
It's like a reason to road trip again as well, because like, what other situation do you have 5 homies who are all going the same way?
Yep. And want to do the same thing and talk about the same thing and all have the same idea of what the perfect car ride would be like.
Yeah, I've once I got
What's the
sponsored and like once I started working, just flying just became like obviously the optimal option because
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I can get in the car and drive for 8 hours, or I can buy a $90 flight that's going to be reimbursed.
Yeah, for an hour and a half of flying or whatever.
But I remember like I used to play Street Fighter 4 a little bit, and I sold my arcade stick to a guy so I could afford gas to pay the driver who drove me to Adelaide, which is about the same distance.
Hmm.
And those car rides, man, were just so funny. Like now that I'm unemployed, like I don't know how long I'm going to be unemployed for, but I'll probably carpool again, just because
Yeah.
it's so funny.
It's shit you can't take back. You can't like the flights are cool and they're all well and good and I've had enjoyable flights with Smashers before, where you just kind of it's a different experience obviously, but
Yeah,
being crammed up in that car with 3 or 4 other people just driving 5, 6, 7. Like myself personally, I've driven to Philadelphia twice, which is, or I should say there and back, not twice, there and back, which is a 9-hour drive. And I drove a full car, so it was me and 4 other people, and you couldn't trade the dumb shit that gets said
yeah.
or like the memories that get made, the conversations that get had. Like you can't make that shit up or trade it
Everyone's
for anything.
filter is just so low at that point. It's like you've been, everyone's just been with each other for so long.
It's just trueness. It's you're looking through the lens in Ocarina of Time, the
Yeah,
truth lens,
yeah,
and you're just seeing everybody's true colors, and that's when the best memories are made.
mm,
Is those gas station stops at fucking 4 in the morning in some state you've never been in at a random fucking McDonald's, just like everybody's asleep, but someone says some memey shit and everyone's cracking up. Like, dude, I get goosebumps thinking about it.
mm.
I just get goosebumps.
It's just the best. Uh,
Yeah, Philly.
so there's this guy. He still plays. I think his tag's Reef, and he had a car back in the day, a Toyota sports wagon, but he carved an E into the sports part on the back, so it's like the Toyota E sports wagon, and this car was fucked. Like it was beat to shit. The There was the left back seat. No, sorry, the right back seat was called Sweet and Sour because it had a giant sweet and sour sauce stain on it. The middle was just called Backbreaker, because if you sat in the middle too long, it felt like your back was gonna snap. Like all the spots had a name, and we would
Sure.
rotate through them. Like sitting in the front was all right, but this guy would roll your own cigarettes with one hand, be changing the
While you're
station
driving.
with the other hand,
Yeah.
and he's driving with his fucking knees.
Knees.
And someone's like, "Bro, do you want me to like take the wheel?" So he's like, "Nah, bro. Like I don't get sleepy. That's my thing. That's just my thing."
my
man."
thing.
He's like, "I got that insomnia, dude." And so the front of the car is like the smoking section. So guys are just smoking
Yeah.
cigs in the car, like, I like,
Just ripping them.
yeah, just ripping them, and like, then it's like the back. Then it's like you can smoke in sweet and sour as well. So if you're back right, you're allowed to smoke as well because like all those windows are down too. So
Yeah, but back left doesn't
so the-
work or some shit.
yeah, some shit like that. But then like, so I'm talking to this guy who mains Ness, who's a pretty interesting character. But this is where I learned about SDI, was on this car trip. Like I was a pretty okay player, but like this,
Godlike.
you know how it's always low tier mains who have like the mechanics of melee knowledge.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like,
they know way more than any of us.
They like really get how the engine works. And so I'm sitting there. It's on the way back. It's like I just got kind of washed at the tournament or whatever. I think I just barely didn't beat the guy I like I really wanted to beat or whatever. And I'm smoking
Sure.
a cig. I'm talking to Jamwa, and this guy is just babbling. His tag's Jamwa, and he's just babbling about how Melee's SDI works. And I'm like kind of half taking it all in. And I remember going to sleep that night and thinking about everything that he said. And then for the next year, I like started actually trying to implement SDI. Before I thought it was just kind of like this, like a joke Taz kind of a concept.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, no, I was like, nobody actually does that though, right?
Yeah, yeah. No one actually knows how it works.
Yeah, and then
But
I started to actually use that, and that came from like one of this cooked, you know, esports wagon.
mid-tier, yeah, one
This-
1-2 player, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had stopped even caring about. He was an old brawl player who kind of just played melee for the crew
for the
because
shits.
everyone moved to melee.
Mm.
Anyway, we've been running like 2 hours,
hours
now, man.
now.
I could talk all day, but
Yeah, of course.
I think for the
of
cast
course.
at least we'll wrap it up here. Dude,
Yeah,
thank you
it's
so
been
much.
fucking gorgeous. No, it's been a blast, Donnie. It's been so good to talk to you, man. I haven't seen you in so long. It's been beautiful. This talk has been making me.
This is like
have the biggest melee
reinvigorating me,
boner.
dude.
Yeah, I got a little melee boner right now.
Yeah, I might actually play some. Straight after
Yeah,
this.
for sure. Hit up. I saw
Hit up
Sora was
Josh,
in here
yeah.
earlier.
He's around.
Yeah, hit up Joshy.
Yeah, he'll play.
But man, this was fucking awesome. This was seriously, this is seriously a blast.
I hope you
would
listen to
love
the
do
others,
it.
and we can definitely do one again later down the line to see where you're all at. And hopefully, once we can travel as well, I would personally love to, because I used to skate every day in high school. Skating was like,
Really?
yeah, and I skated a half pipe about the size of what we're looking at there. So I would love to come pop some rock to fakies, some hurt myself trying to do a blunt.
Dude, I would lose my mind watching you drop in on our half pipe, Donnie.
Yeah,
I
man.
just
We-
I want you to know that
I
We
have
would
to make
love
it
have
happen.
you.
I have to make it happen.
Yeah, I would love it. I would love it more than anything. You
All
know,
right.
you can stay here as long as you'd like.
Excellent, man. We'll hit
All
you
right,
up
well,
on that.
Yeah, perfect. If you ever feel like doing this again, I'm available at the time being. So,
Excellent, man.
all right. Well, stream. It's been beautiful.
Peace
Make sure to
out.
follow Donnie for sure. Peace
Big
out.
love.